Hello, today I'm going to show you how to tie the Bonefish Bitters, which is a classic salt flies for bonefish. So the technique is that we're going to apply, I'm just going to put more pressure on the jaws. We're going to apply just a few drops of head cement, but only near the eye, about maybe a quarter of length, and we're gonna apply it. We're gonna cover it with our tying thread. The reason is we only need to attach the eyes, and then the body is made afterwards. So we're gonna take a bed chain for the eyes that you can find on the hardware store or different place where they sell those material. So you just slip it on your thread, and then you slip it once again directly, or you let it slide on the hook like this. You don't have to put too much thread and make it extremely tight, because we're going to cover it with epoxy. So it's not like a regular head that we attach the eyes on it. With all the epoxy that we're gonna cover it, it will be well secure. Don't worry. So you make sure that the red thread is showing on each side of the dumbbell eyes, like this, because we're gonna see through the epoxy, and want to make sure that we're gonna see the red through it. So we're gonna do our whip finish knot, and we're going to tie the excess of thread. Now for the epoxy, I used about the size of a dime of quantity for both product together, and then with your bobkin you just apply it directly on the eyes, directly on the hook like this. Make sure that everything will be well covered. So you start gently with a small drop, and then you add more and more. If you apply too much in the same time, then you might have some hard time to control the dripping. So you can start rolling your vise, or if you don't have a rotary vise, you can use some pliers. But it's a really nice thing to use the rotary vise like this. You need to go slowly just to control where the epoxy is going, and then once it seems to dry a little bit, you can go a little bit faster, just to make sure that everything is covered with epoxy, the thread and the eyes. This is a 5 minutes epoxy, so it takes about, like the name implies, about 5 minutes to dry. But I won't wait the 5 minutes with you. I just want to show you. I just want to show you how it looks like. I incline the vise so the epoxy won't drip near in the direction of the hook bend. I want it to stay in direction of the eye of the hook. So with your bobkin you can control if there's some drop that don't want to go in the direction that you want once it start drying slowly. Excuse me. So as you can see, it's getting darker, not darker, but more and more rigid. It start to slide a little bit less. It's almost done. We need to control to make sure to make a nice ball of epoxy. Then you can touch it just to see if it's dry or not, but doesn't seem to be ready yet. I just incline a little bit just to control the last minute of the product. We don't want it. Since the fly will be swimming upside down, the ball might be, the bigger ball will be under the eyes like this. So now I change the color of my thread, so it becomes the same color of the next material. So we're gonna use some rubber band. Can be from the silly legs or any other kind of rubber band that you have. This is a pattern that you can tie in different color. So to apply the legs, you just slip the material directly on the thread like this, and you deposit on the hook where you want them to be. So we're just gonna make sure that they stay on each side. And we're gonna make a few good wraps just to secure everything. Like this. Perfect. Sometimes you might need to open those rubber bands just to avoid them to glue together, if I can say it like this. So once the legs are tied, we're gonna tie a little bit of flash. So we're gonna use some crystal flash. We're gonna use about 6-7 fibers. So you can start with 2 or 3, and you just fold them many times until you reach the correct length that you need, and at the same time you're gonna get the good amount of material like this. The crystal flash should pass a little bit the bend of the hook, so separate or split the amount so there's enough on each side. We're just gonna make it a little bit shorter so we won't have to trim them after. So once again, a little bit of head cement. Remember that there will be bonefish biting those flies, so you need to make them very strong and very good quality. So you make a few wraps just to tie it up. Excuse me. Like this. Then to complete the fly, we're gonna use for the wing some deer body hair. Don't take the coarse one. Take some with a little bit thinner. This is not a bomber or a bass boy that we are tying, so excuse me. Take some nice deer body hair, but there's some thinner one that you can find near the mask of the animal, or not necessarily the coarse one. So once you have cleaned the deer hair, we're gonna align the tips, but we just make sure that there's no shorter hairs or dubbing. So we're gonna insert them in the stacker that we're just gonna shake and tap on the side of the table, and when you remove them, they're all well aligned. So the wing should pass a little bit the hook bend while being a little bit shorter than the crystal flash. So we're gonna cut it almost on the correct length right now, because when they're gonna flare, they will represent also the part of the body, and we don't want to have to trim them once they're tied. With the rubber bands and everything, it's going to be easier to tie them directly with the correct length. So you make sure that they stay on top of the hook band like this. What I mean is to make sure that they won't start spinning around the hook band. So you make a few good tight wraps so the base will flare like this, but the hairs will stay on top. It's perfect like this. Now we're gonna apply a few drops of head cement directly on the thread. And then we're gonna do our whip finish knot like this. Make sure that we don't grab the silly legs at the same time, like this. And you cut the excess of thread. You can trim a little bit, but leave some to hide the thread, and at the same time it makes kind of the thorax. So you make sure that the deer body hair is only on the top of the hook, and then you grab all the legs together like this, and you just trim the correct size, which should be about maybe an inch of each side. So this is how the fly will swim. This is a fly that you can tie with different color of thread and material. So this is it. Our bonefish biters is complete.